Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Wild Your Garden. And in this video I have a very special guest. I was just doing a routine maintenance check on this 1 acre site that I manage in South Lincolnshire that I created 12 years ago, where you've probably just seen the recent video on the cowslips in this place, and they are looking absolutely stunning. As you can see, they're probably even slightly better than the last video. However, I was just walking along one of the paths, and what did I spot at my feet? This absolute little gem. Look at that. I'll put a couple of close-ups in. That, everybody, is the smallest butterfly in the UK, and that is the small blue, can't even speak, I'm that ecstatic, the small blue Cupido minimus, which is the only known colony in South Lincolnshire, or the whole of Lincolnshire actually. And it was just on this path. Now unfortunately it has got a bit of a deformed wing, as you can see there. I'll put another clip in of that side, which means it's not properly pumped its wings up when it has emerged from its chrysalis, which is a real shame. It can fly but not very well, but I'm just hoping that it will manage to continue its life cycle here on this site, because this site is absolutely full of kidney vetch, the larval food plant, which has done really well since it was sown a few years ago to try and encourage these butterflies. And it's absolutely everywhere now. It's just proliferated across the whole site. And the beauty of the kidney vetch is it is like the birdfoot trefoil is to the common blue butterfly. It is a larval food plant and a nectar source for the adults. So an absolutely wonderful plant. Sadly, it's a biennial, which, probably like many things in nature, are short-lived. Obviously 2 years the life cycle, but there's so much of it that on this sandy site that it's, I mean, you can't really see. I'll put a couple of clips in of the leaves, but it's just everywhere. It's absolutely incredible. And the irony, I'll say the irony, the significance, I should say, of finding this wonderful little insect is that this is the earliest ever record for the site, and possibly for the country, because normally they start coming out in the first week or so of May, and then they will be peaking sort of mid to end of May and then petering out into June. But this is the 30th of April today, so an absolutely, well, unheard of record for the site. And I've certainly never seen them. Of all the years I've been watching butterflies, I've never ever seen them in April. I know we're only just still inside of April, but we of course have had quite a warm April during the day. Nights have been pretty cold, but warm during the day. But I'm just besotted with this little insect. It's just an incredible little creature, and it is almost as big as your thumbnail. So absolutely tiny. They're such an under-recorded butterfly, and of course most of the time the larval food plant, the kidney vetch, will only be found on sort of chalk or limestone grassland, so calcareous grassland or quarries where this butterfly will live. So it's not very common to find these in the wider countryside in the UK. There are sites, don't get me wrong, but they're not the sort of thing you would find most of the time flying through a town or along a roadside verge. And of course, even if they were, chances are you wouldn't spot it, because the upper side of this butterfly is a really lovely kind of chocolatey grey colour. So they are quite difficult to spot when they're in flight. They're like a little silvery bit of paper fluttering along, so they're very difficult to see. And I love this butterfly because they're very sedentary. I say that the females have an amazing ability of being able to smell or detect the larval food plant, it's believed, up to 10 kilometres away from the existing colony. So they have a very good nose on them. And they can detect it from a long way away, which of course is incredible for an insect that is the size of your thumbnail. So the females can disperse later on in the season to try and find new sites. Obviously that's what they do when you know, numbers build and population builds. All of the time with butterflies, the females, when they are egg laden, they will go off to try and find new sites, and that's how these things have existed for and spread for millennia. But in their lifestyle, they are very sedentary. An individual might only travel until it disperses. If it's a female, if it's the males, they may only travel 20, 30, 50 meters, maybe even 100 meters, but very short distances. So they are, yes, a butterfly that likes to grow up where they were born. Absolutely love these insects, just unbelievably exquisite, really are. Very similar in colour, of course, to the holly blue, which has a slate grey underside, but obviously a lot bigger. I say a lot bigger, it's still not a massive butterfly, but a reasonable size and certainly more noticeable than this. And they have a blue upper side, so that's the telltale sign. We do, of course, have the brown Argus, which is similar, a little bit bigger than this, but a bit more kind of silvery in flight. But yeah, that is just one hell of an insect. Just exquisite. This is only just hatched, you can tell it's just in pristine condition, bar that wing, sadly, which is a real shame. It does happen on butterflies, you may have seen it before, where unfortunately they just don't quite pump themselves up if they don't quite hang in the right position, and they can't get enough blood pumped into their wings. Their wings can set as they are pumping them up in these kind of deformed shapes, which is a real shame, but just an absolute treasure to see. Fascinating, and so good to know that they are doing so well on this site. I mean, obviously this is the end of April, and this is the first one out. I shall be back again to check for more, and they have been doing well and increasing the numbers over the last 3 or 4 years, because the kidney vetch has spread through this really sandy site, which is an absolute wonderful plant. God, I could look at that all day. Anyway, really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I'll try and bring you more videos on the butterflies of the UK as we go through the year, because they are absolutely wonderful insects, I think, captivating, and they certainly are a huge distraction for me at this time of year. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, give the video a like, and I'll be sure to bring you, what was that? Didn't you skipper? Fantastic. They are on this site. Of course, this site is home to 30 species now, or we've had 30 species recorded on this site, which is absolutely wonderful. A real gem of a site within just under an acre. So yes, I'll be certainly bringing you more butterflies that live here as we go through the course of the year. Do drop some comments below if you want to see more videos on butterflies. Let me know your thoughts. If you've got any other suggestions for videos in the future, and I'll be sure to bring you many more videos on all the ways in which you can help wildlife, and of course the flora and fauna of the UK as we go through the year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.